welcome back to Let's Chat. Today I'm just honestly gonna talk, and I don't really have a topic idea. I kind of do, but I kind of wanted to touch on like insecurities today, and just kind of like perception and judgment and all of those really fun things. So yeah, a few things to get out of the way though. I just finished the last episode of season 3 of Glee, and I just like feel this like pit in my stomach, and I feel really sick, honestly. Like I feel really upset and like heartbroken. And when I tell you, like, realistically, I've probably seen this episode like between like 27 to 33 times in my life. I have been watching Glee since I was in 3rd grade, okay? I started watching it on my dad's iPad, okay? And my mom wouldn't let me watch it, so when I had weekends with my dad, I would watch it on his iPad without him knowing, because he didn't even know what it was, okay? I was literally 9 years old watching Glee. And then I started to, become addicted to watching it, so then I would sneak watching it, at my mom's house. And one time she found me watching it, and I got in a lot of trouble because she said it was inappropriate for me to be watching. Was that some, internalized homophobia at play? Maybe. Maybe. Is it most likely just that the content is not really fit for a 9-year-old? Most likely. Did it develop most of my personality and who I am today? 1,000%. So, yeah, and so I just literally have rewatched Glee probably like I'm not even kidding, like probably 25 times or so. Maybe like 15 to 20 times, but still, I've watched this show since I was 9 years old, and I am now 20 years old. So I've literally seen everything, and yet every time I watched it, I am so emotionally invested and affected as if it's the first time I'm watching it. Like, I don't know why. Well, I know why I get so attached to media like that, but like it's really heartbreaking, okay? And it's also, like the Glee curse of like how 3 cast members are dead from the show, so there's that whole other layer of watching it of like, oh my god, like Finn Hudson's like actually dead, and they're talking about their future, and like they didn't get to have one. Like, are you kidding me? So I've just, I'm in a little bit of a sorrow mood, and I'm not gonna lie about what it's about. It's simply that, for the most part. I had a great day. I donated plasma, so I got some money. I went and bought some new sheets. Okay, I did a little grocery shopping. I went and checked out the house I'm gonna be living in next year. I went to my classes. I didn't miss any classes. I worked out, cleaned my room. It's been a great day. And yet I watch Finn Hudson break up with Rachel Berry so that she can follow her dreams in New York City. And for some reason, like, I'm literally gonna cry thinking about it. Like, God. Anyways, I just like really had to get that out of the way. Back to insecurities. I don't know. I don't know how to transition that topic. Like there really is no smooth transition for that. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk. And you know what? I was about to apologize how I look right now because I like, don't have makeup on. I took a bath. My hair is still wet. It's not grease, okay? Um, I'm not looking great, but I'm like, is that, it's kind of ironic for me to say that when I'm literally going to make an episode about insecurities and judgment and things like that. So I'm just going to talk. Okay. Honestly, the past few days, I have been pretty down. I'm getting out of it right now. Like, I think as of like yesterday and today, I've been, getting better and stuff. And it's just like one of these waves I have. But like, I was just so in the dumps about how I look and how I feel like I look. And do y'all ever get exhausted with the thought that anyone can perceive you and how you look, act, sound at any time. And you have no clue what their perception is of you. Like, and no shit. And it's obviously something you can't control. But I have a little bit of control issues, obviously, because the fact that I can't control that sometimes is so overwhelming, you know? And, you know, maybe that's why I've always loved social media, is because you can pretty much make yourself look a certain way and sound a certain way and be perceived how you want to be. But in real life, walking to class, like anyone that walks by me can just like make a judgment about me and like look at me a certain way. And obviously, if you have enough, you know, self-esteem or confidence, or, you know, if you're sure enough in yourself, that doesn't matter and that shouldn't affect you, right? And I mean, yeah, that, like, obviously that's kind of the answer, is, you know, you can't control that, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I know all the answers to these things, but still, it doesn't mean I'm not, you know, overwhelmed sometimes with the fact that, like, anyone can look at me. Like, someone can look at my side profile. That sentence alone made me want to cry. And not in a way where I'm saying I'm this, like, foul creature. Okay, I'm just saying, like, I can't control, like, how people perceive me. That's crazy. And you know what? This is, you know, I feel like a pretty, I guess, like, not naive, like, adolescent, you know, kind of way of thinking. Like, we're, you know, always told, like, as you grow up, you start to care less what people think of you. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding, you know, I agree with that, like, duh. But I'm like, at what point does that start flipping, you know? Because obviously, like, in high school and stuff like that, I always cared what people thought of me, duh. And then, like, as I was growing, you know, I would say by, like, my senior year, I definitely cared way less than I did when I first got there. Simple concept. We probably all are the same way, okay? But obviously, I still cared a certain amount of what people thought of me. I just felt like my overall, I guess, like, I started getting more positive attention, I feel like, in my senior year. So then in that in my mind clicked as, it's okay if people perceive me, because they'll always perceive me in a good way, because I'm likable now. Like, people like me now. And not that people didn't like me in ninth grade, but, you know, like, you grow into, like, growing into, like, groups of people that I was always scared of and would never hang out with, and then becoming, like, mutuals with them. And, you know, like, they'd say hi to me in the hallway, or I would, you know, make them laugh from a joke I say when we're, like, talking in class, or I start to make friends with them in classes and stuff like that. All these, like, little things that genuinely don't matter. And obviously, like, now, like, the second we left high school, that shit doesn't matter at all. It's interesting to reflect on that and be like, okay, just because, you know, all these, like, little things changed that were so surface level, and I never, like, really craved that. It's not like I craved, you know, the attention from these people that much, because I was scared shitless of them, of, you know, like, the popular people in my grade or whatever. And it's just weird getting positive attention from them, and that being deemed as, like, oh, okay, like, I'm okay now, like, I'm cool now. Once again, such a basic concept, you know, like, someone popular gives you good attention and makes you feel good about yourself, therefore you feel better about yourself, you know, like, just, that's a simple concept. But I'm kind of trying to, like, apply it to now, because I'm like, okay, college, obviously, we all kind of give less of a shit what people think about us, but we still care a little bit. You can't lie when you say you don't care a little bit. And I don't just mean, like, physically, or, you know, what you're wearing, what you look like. I'm saying just, like, overall perception, and, you know, like, overall, what kind of personality do you give off? Are you a super outgoing person? And Or are you a super, shy person, but it's like kind of cool and kind of mysterious and like people want to, know more about you? Or like, are you a people person and just like, or are you funny enough to like make a joke in class without being weird and it landing? Like there's so many different, and I'm just like naming really like basic, I guess, kind of like stereotypes of just like people I've seen, in college, and like the list goes on of like different types of personalities you could be or have. But it's interesting kind of how like, yeah, we're growing out of that a little bit of not caring what people think about us, but we still give a little bit of a shit. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just the one that gives a shit, but I think it's a safe judgment or a safe statement to say that we all kind of still care a little bit. And I think it's different, however, though, because, there's just so many people like here. Like there are obviously, I've met maybe like I don't even know what the like 1/10, no, probably like 1/20th of the people that go to this school, right? Or probably even less than that. Like, like I've only met a very, very few amount of people compared to how many people actually go to my school, and there's people I'm never gonna meet going here. And, in high school you're in a very much, closer space. You, by the end of high school, you pretty much know almost everyone that you was in your grade, and you grow up with these people, and then now you get to college and everyone's coming from different places and you don't know really anyone. So there's so many factors that no shit, it's gonna be different. But I don't know, like I think something that in the moment I'm like, or when I'm here, I'm like, I don't really care that much of what people, like what I look like, okay? Like, I'm just gonna give this example. I'm like, I don't really care what I look like that much, whenever I go to the grocery store, or if I leave my apartment, okay? Like, I don't care that much what I look like. Who am I gonna see? I don't really care what people think. But yet, I'm still like changing my hair a little bit and putting on like a somewhat comfy, cute outfit. But yeah, and then I get home, like I go visit home and I just feel this like weight off my chest and I like can breathe and I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't matter what I look like or anything here because like I'm not surrounded by college kids all the time, And obviously a lot of it is just my own personal insecurities, like feeling the need to like look really good at all times because you never know what circumstance you could be in or who you can meet or, what person that you don't want to see that you could see, like there's so many factors and a lot of them are my own personal insecurities. But it's like it's just interesting that I've just been reflecting on that of like what has changed and what hasn't, but I know that as I grow up, obviously I'm going to care a lot less what people think about me as I continue, but sometimes it's good to, care a little bit what people think about you. Like, no, I don't even want to say that. Like, I don't really see the positives of that. Obviously, there's positives to, being, what's the phrase I'm thinking of? You have, constructive criticism or how you're treating people and shit like that. Of course, that stuff matters, but caring what you look like all the time to where it like exhausts you, that's not necessary. And I'm trying to work on that a little bit, but at the same time, I do love to, get dressed up all cute and feel good about myself, not for anyone else's benefit, just my own. Like it's really, I forget that I love doing that, okay? Because I just really don't try anymore with my outfits and makeup and hair and stuff like that. And I think when I've been in this little slump the past, few days, like I was saying, I was like, you know what? I haven't put on a cute outfit and done my hair and put on some fun jewelry and put a little eyeliner on. I haven't done any of that in so long. Putting on an outfit for no reason, like just to go to class because like of course if I'm going out, I'm putting on a cute outfit, but like it's like, oh, there's so much pressure on, going out outfits. It's like what makes me look not too slutty, but then also slutty enough to where I look good, but then also like, is this too much, for the event I'm going to, or the party I'm going to, I don't know. Am I going to be harassed in this outfit? Am I going to be objectified in this outfit? Do I, like these are really intense things I'm saying, but like genuinely, it's the thoughts that go through my head whenever I'm like putting on a cute outfit, and like to go out, okay? Like these are the thoughts that go through my head when I'm about to go out. God, that was like a little too intense. I'm sorry. But I going out outfits, like it's like there's so much pressure on them because also like there are some baddies here in college and they look so good and I want to look like them sometimes, okay? And I forget the joy of putting on my little turtleneck and denim vest and my dangly earrings and my brown eyeliner and doing a blowout to my hair. I forget the joys of that, okay? Because that's what makes me me, is my turtleneck. Okay, my turtlenecks are what make me me. And I have forgotten that part of myself. And it took me one day I woke up 20 minutes or okay, no. I woke up like 30 minutes earlier than I usually do, like one day last week. And because of that, I had an incredible day. And you know why? Because I had 30 minutes to put effort into my appearance, which I don't do anymore because I wake up 10 minutes before I need to leave. So I throw on a hoodie and sweatpants. But I had that 30 minutes and that 30 minutes saved my day. I got all cute. I had time to wake up before having to take in a bunch of information in my class and my lecture. I had time to drink my coffee and just wake up and feel good. And then I went to class, a class I usually miss, and I had a great day. And I think it's because I started with remembering a little piece of me, which is that I love to put on a cute outfit. I used to dress up cute for high school. I feel like really, really bold statement of me to make, considering I just recently have looked at pictures of me sophomore year. Who the fuck let me look like that sophomore year of high school? Who the fuck? I'll insert a picture here. I would look like that like every day sophomore year. But sophomore year didn't exist. That was like COVID year, whatever. But for the most part, I put on a cute, dinky little outfit that I thrifted all the time. And it was, of course, there were many days where I didn't, but like for the most part, I was wearing more jeans than I was sweatpants. And I miss that part of myself. Okay, just because it's also like, there's so many differences because like here, it's like I usually, I go to classes and then I have time to come home. And then I will change my outfit of whatever I'm wearing, or I won't go to, like it's very different. But like, I forgot that's what makes me me. So, I don't know how I got there actually. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember that part of myself that like thought, like I just forgot how beneficial it can be to me mentally. Not even for like other people's. Of course, I'm putting on the outfit and I'm like, I have a little thought in the back of my mind that's like, I know I look good. I really hope other people think that, which is awful. Sorry, which is awful, which is, like a crazy statement. It's the truth. It's what I'm thinking, okay? But majority of my mind is like, I look good, I feel good, I don't care what people think. And I like how I look, and it doesn't matter what people think of how I look, okay? It doesn't matter if people don't like how I look, or, and like, no one gives a shit also. No one gives a shit of what I look like. Everyone's focused in their own world and their own mind and like what they're doing, and especially in college, like, why the fuck do I think everyone's like looking at me and like dissecting my body and how I look and my outfit and my hair? And no one cares. No one cares. Okay. But yeah. Okay. Also, this is a weird connection I'm about to make, But something I think that I grew up as a dancer, right? And literally, like, the one requirement you have to have for dancing is like a body, right? Your body is literally judged and critiqued. Like, it's how your body moves. It's like how you're moving your body, but it's literally just your body is like the one main, you know, factor of dancing. And it's just being judged and critiqued and like broken down and, you know, worked on. Like your body is so much, it consumes your mind when you're a dancer, because that's like what you have to think about when you're dancing, duh. But I think that honestly has affected how I, you know, think about my body, because like I said, like when you're a dancer, like even you're not even, I'm not even just saying in like a competitive nature, just like even like your dance teacher, right? She's looking at your body and how it's moving and how it looks, and you know how it looks when you're doing this move, or when you're, you know, standing in this position or whatever it is. And so like having eyes always on your body, that's, I feel like, kind of why I think everyone's like looking at it all the time, if that makes sense. Obviously, you know, some people are judging, or maybe some people are looking at your butt, but like the way that I think I'm walking to class, and like every single person is like staring at my body because like I think it looks a little bit different today. Girl, no, like no one cares and no one sees that. Like nobody. And also I'm wearing a fucking sweatshirt and sweatpants. Like what do you mean you're like I feel like gross today, and like I feel like my body looks so different. You're wearing a sweatpant, or you're wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants. No one can see your body, babe. Like, you know, like this constant fear that people are always judging me and my body or how I look or whatever. I think it kind of comes from that a little bit. And also I'm just, you know, I have insecurities with my body, so, but I think it does connect a little bit, because I'm like, it's weird to think that dancing is really just about how your body is moving and what your body is doing. Like that is really all dancing is. And so just like being hyper focused on that, on your body, you know, led me to a lot of problems today. Wouldn't trade it for the world though. I love dancing. But anyways, okay, let me talk now not just about body wise, because I've been rambling about my body for however long. Also like the perception and the fear of judgment surrounding your personality. Okay, I like my personality. I think I have a pretty good one, okay? I think it's chill. I think it's, you know, I'm a lot. I'm a lot. If you allow me to be a lot, I'll be a lot. Okay? If you give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Okay? If you let my personality out, like if you let my just ability to be a lot, if you let that out a little bit, you know, okay? But whenever I'm in a first impression sort of situation or interaction, I get really nervous of how, you know, I'm gonna be me. I don't know how to be anyone else, so I'm gonna be me. You know, I'm not gonna try to be someone different. But what do I need to filter? What do I need to say? What do I need to not say? How should I present? How should I try to be perceived to this person? You know, like all these things. And I worked really long on, you know, really not changing who I am, or like how I just like my personality, like not changing that based on the person I'm with. Someone once told me a few years ago, and this will forever stick with me, and I never ever 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 want to stray away from this. This is something that like honestly is like one of the best things anyone said to me, and it's like the highest form of compliment in my opinion, because, you know, like I didn't even really realize this, but then when she told me this, I was like, wow, I'm gonna internalize this and like try to never let go of this. She said, you are the same person no matter who you're with. Like you stay the same with every person you're around. Like, you don't change personalities, based on the group you're with, or you're always you. And I was like dumbfounded because I was like, oh my God, that is so good to hear. Because like sometimes, like, yeah, it was just something I never thought of. But once she said that, I was like, you're kind of right. Like, I really don't change myself just because I'm around a certain person. But that being said, that doesn't mean that I don't worry that myself is not enough around certain people, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to change me. I'm not going to, be different, act different, sound different, whatever. I'm not going to do all those things. But the worry that if I'm not changing all these things just around this one person or whoever, I don't know, is that, am I going to be enough? But I like, it's not, if that makes sense. I don't know. And also like first impressions and stuff like that. I am like a people person, I would say. Like, I get along with most people, like I'm good at holding conversation. I'm good at meeting people and like stuff like that for the most part. But I always have this kind of overwhelming, like, oh my God, like is this gonna be my friend, or like is this gonna be, are they gonna be my best friend? Like, do I need to make this like a really good first impression, because like in case the chance that they're gonna be my friend forever, or they're gonna hate me, or that, just it's just like the fear of judgment and like how people perceive me. Okay, like in first impressions, that just, it overwhelms me, even though like I'm sure of a lot of things, but I'm also, insecure about a lot of things and worrisome about a lot of things. So I was just sharing that. If you relate, feel free to comment down below if you get what I'm saying. But I think a huge thing is knowing, and like a huge way that, or thing that like kind of gets me through, all these like overwhelming thoughts of judgment and all that, is like, even the most like confident person is most definitely also scared of judgment, and also is overthinking, something in their life of how they're perceived and all these things like that. And so it's just like knowing that like everyone is also in that same boat to some extent, for the most part. Knowing everyone is kind of in that like boat for the most part can be very comforting. We're all human. We're all scared of judgment. And of course there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I'm being judged right now, or what people are thinking about me, because I'm having fun right now, or I am comfortable with how I'm being, or who I am, or what I look like. Like there's sometimes where I'm so certain in myself that it's like judgment doesn't even matter. Like, I don't care if people think about me a certain way that I don't want them to, like I feel confident enough, so that's all that matters. And I need to hold on to those times and try to make that more often, because like, also a really huge thing with me is I kind of have this thing where I just think, like, I've always been certain that I'm gonna try to explain this without it sounding like in a pick me way, or like you need to, reassure me, or like change my mind about this, or like comment down below like, no, no, okay, don't any of that. Like, I'm just stating how I've always kind of had this like mindset. Once you get to know, once I'm gonna say a man, okay, I'm talking in a romantic sense, okay? Once a man gets to know me and knows my personality, okay, once they get to that, I'm a lot more, I guess, attractive to them, if that makes sense. Or like, I always just think that like my looks aren't enough for them to, for me to catch someone's eye in that way where they just are drawn to me just because of my physical beauty, that they can then start conversation with me. It's kind of like I have to trap them into talking to me and getting to know me and my personality, and then, the attraction comes. Then it's like, oh, because you can, I feel like liking someone's personality and finding them attractive in other ways than just physical beauty, all of it comes together, and you kind of have this like lens that this is a really beautiful person, even if like initially they, like it's like once you get to know someone more, obviously then you can find them more beautiful or attractive, or whatever that even means, like whatever. Okay, I'm digging myself in a deep hole, but that's just kind of how I've always had this lens. Is like I have to kind of trap a man to like get to know me, my personality, and then they'll find me attractive, because it's not like my physical beauty is something that's going to rip them away from, if they see me somewhere and they just like look and then I'm there. It's like I'm not physically attractive enough to like what men want in like initially. They have to get to know me and then they find me that attractive, if that makes sense. And that is, yeah, it's kind of awful to think that way or say that, because like what, like that, I don't even think I need to explain why that's just kind of a little bit stupid for me to think that way, but that's just kind of how I've always felt and thought. And I think that's why I focus so much on my physical beauty. Like if I'm going to be in an instance where I'm trying to meet a guy, or I'm trying to, get someone to like me, or, which awful, getting someone to like you, horrible statement off the bat. But if I'm, trying to get someone or whatever that is, and I want my physical beauty to be up to par to where then like I try so hard to look good one night, and I try everything within my power, and I'm like, I don't want to have to, trap them into talking to me and distract them, or try to distract them from how many, more physically beautiful people there are here. And, I don't want to have to do all that. I just want to look good enough to where they can come up to, or like where they want to come up to me, or they want to, they're, physically attracted to me, and they, go however about it that normally happens. I don't know. And it's it's such a toxic mindset, because then I'm just like, I'm trying so hard to look good, and then whenever that doesn't happen, whenever I don't get male attention or validation, and this all goes back to like my need for male attention and validation, which are awful things to want or need. Unfortunately, that's how my mind is kind of built to work. We're working on it though. Don't worry. I'm going to work on that. I have been working on that actively. It's a process. Okay. Anyways, unfortunately, the truth is that the, male validation and attention that I, like crave whenever I'm like get all dressed up and done up for a guy, and then they don't give that to me, and then no one like is, like trying, no one's like talking to me at a party that I'm at, okay, that I try to look so good for, that like maybe I could steal their attention away from like these like bombshells that are with me, okay? I try so hard, and then that doesn't happen, and then I spiral. And then I'm like telling myself, I'm like, why do I ever go out? Why do I ever go to parties? I hate going out. I hate going out. I hate going to parties. No, you just hate how you feel when you set expectations that you want a man to want you. I can't control if men want or don't want me, and I shouldn't even, well, I get why I want that, and I get why, I'm like set and, meant to think that, but it's like, I do love going out, and I love so many aspects of it. I love going with my friends and having fun and dancing and music and meeting people, just not just romantic, just like talking to people. Like, I love having fun. I love going out, but then I've been so obsessed with like trying to look so good that finally one night maybe like a guy will come up to me or, like want me. And I put all of my efforts into that and not into having fun and not caring what people think about me. If I feel like I look good, that is all that matters. And I don't even need to like look so good when I go out. The point of it is to dance and be with your friends, or like there's so many other priorities with that. And I set all of it into like, tonight I need to meet the love of my life. Babe, you're not meeting the love of your life at a fucking party with 15 people where all of them are in a frat, and like I'm not in a sorority, and like there's sorority girls there, and like like there's so many missed and wasted opportunities I've had where I could have had fun, yet the whole time I was thinking, do I look good enough for a guy? Do I look good enough for a guy? Do I need to change anything? Do I look like, get a grip? Like, yeah, you look good. You don't need to look good enough or not good enough for a guy. Go and have fun. Like, I don't know how I got into this type of rant, but I just, honestly, it's a huge thing on my mind. And I have friends that relate. We talk about this, right? Of like, we decide like we don't want to go out anymore because we set expectations and they're never met. Yet all the expectations that we put and that we make are related to men and romance. And if we know one thing about men, is they won't meet expectations most of the time. Okay, sorry to my boys that are listening to this, love y'all. The 3 guys friends I have, two of which whom are gay. I'm just saying, putting expectations in romance, girl, like it's a part, like there's no romance at a fucking like frat party. What? Putting expectations in something that can happen with a guy or things like that when you are going out. Okay. Yeah, you're never going to win if you do that. What you could put expectations into, and what most likely will be fulfilled, is if the only expectation you have is to have fun and to maybe forget your problems for a night and go with your friends to wherever you're going, party, frat, bar, whatever. Just put expectations into having fun and switch the priorities of like where your expectations are. Because yeah, we're gonna be fucking disappointed every time if we think we're gonna meet the love of our life at a bar. Like, no, we're not. Most likely it can happen, but we cannot expect that because we're always gonna be disappointed. And so don't put all this effort into how you look and your appearance if it's with the intention of wanting to look good enough for a guy also. Like, obviously there's some situations, like if you have a boyfriend or whatever, and it's like you should look good for him, I guess. But even then, it's like, oh, no. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know how I got into this rant, but I hope it, maybe someone relates to it. I don't know. I know. I like genuinely, I've like kind of twisted my brain to thinking I hate going out or I hate partying or, just having fun. Like, literally, like sometimes I've convinced myself I hate those things. I love those things. What I hate is being disappointed and feeling really shitty about myself because of expectations I set that could not be met and wouldn't be met. Okay? Like, it's just, and of course, like if I've tried to be like, okay, I don't care about meeting a guy tonight. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I'm just having fun with the girls, right? And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, but like I could meet someone tonight. It's not going to be met. And maybe there's a chance it will be. Okay, maybe I'll find the love of my life at it. But in the most likely chance you won't, don't set that expectation. Set the expectation to have fun and to spend time with people you do know that do love you, that you don't need to look a certain way for or feel a certain way for or be a certain way for. Okay, they love you how you are, and you don't need to look a certain way for them to even grab their attention enough to then show your personality. Like, that's, I remember what I was originally talking about, my person. Okay, but I remember, okay, the one boyfriend I've had, we were friends right before We dated. We were friends in middle school, and then we were friends in high school before we dated, obviously. So he already knew me. Like, he knew my personality. There wasn't this like one-off time where we just met and like, no, like, he knew me, okay? And I look back on that, and it's a little upsetting because I'm like, is someone gonna have to know me for a really long time and know my personality to like me like that, if that makes sense? And I'm not in any way like reflecting on that like little short-lived relationship and being like, I just like no, I'm just saying it's kind of, it feels almost as if that proved my point, that like someone has to like get to know my personality to then find me attractive, and that like my physical beauty doesn't in any way like, you know and it's I'm not and I'm I don't know how else to explain that one. It's kind of a complex thought that I just have always kind of really believed in, and it can be harmful for me because I get in the way of myself by doing that, right? Like, I then I'm like, okay, I need to show them my personality like right now, like everything, like I need, and then it just comes off as like a little bit crazy and psychotic, or like you're like not funny because I'm trying to be funny, or it can absolutely come back to bite myself in the ass, like having this mentality. And also, it's just, I hope it's not right. Like, I hope it's not right, Like, I hope it's not true, but it's just how I've kind of thought. And I'm slowly trying to, you know, pick apart those layers and try to kind of revert that back to something like a different thought, like try to change the way of that thinking, okay? But yeah, honestly, I've talked for a while today, and I think I made some okay points. So comment down below what you want to hear or see, whatever, from me. Honestly, I'm kind of struggling with what to talk about. So comment down below some ideas, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. For all my people that are, it's finals time, we got this, we'll make it through. And for those of y'all struggling with winter depression time, we got this, baddies. Let's rise. Let's take our medicine when we're supposed to. Let's sleep when we need to, but let's try to get out of bed when we can. Yes. That's like very hypocritical of me to say, because I've literally been in my bed for like 6 days. But we're going to work on it. Okay, girls, guys, gays, days. Love y'all. Have a beautiful night.